As long as I've sat on the menu for Hollow Knight, while just procrastinating practice or doing something else, the menu music will never get old to me.
No.
The entire soundtrack of Hollow Knight, pretty classic. Very glad to hear that at least one of our runners has the OST playing.
Yeah.
Some runners tend to run without the original music playing. All right. Looks like both of our runners are ready. Mm-hmm. So I will be giving them a countdown. Don't think I'll be doing any audio since it can confuse the audience as to why the race hasn't started. So I'm just going to start the countdown.
Okay. Perfect.
Just joined us. Oh, hello. We have our volunteer with us in the voice chat.
Hello. All right. So you're going to give the countdown?
Yeah, I was just making sure they were going to coordinate. Yeah, they were just making sure to coordinate
screens.
The sync. Yeah, that we'll be handling. Usually the start will be slightly desynchronized, maybe some lag from people just being in different places and seeing the Discord at slightly different times, but they'll be able to sort that out for us, and I'll be doing the countdown right now.
Perfect. Okay. And momentarily we should see them going. Like Sabi said, there will be a bit of a delay. What are you expecting out of this race today, Sabi?
I'm expecting it to be pretty close once again. Both of our racers having in their previous races being both about one, or Collie actually PB'd in her race.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, and I believe that she's been practicing since. Dinah, I haven't seen too much from, but I do know that their race time was within 1 minute of their PB, which was almost a full minute ahead of Collie's current personal best. So Collie's going to have to pull probably one of her best runs to be able to contest Dinah here. Barring some huge mistake and some death from Dinah, which I don't think I would expect from either runner, as their first round races both were deathless. And I think the nerves from round one will be settling out in this second round here.
Yeah.
So don't be alarmed that our races are having slightly different times. We will be getting a sync up in probably just a few seconds. Collie having a little bit of trouble with this Vengefly at the start, but not a huge issue. She'll be able to make up that time elsewhere, I'm sure. Takes the hard fall. Dinah is already on his way out at a 53 pace. It's pretty good. Pretty good start to the race. That's what you want to see. Collie's going to be Comsob, not quite.
No, Comsob is actually a 50 flat, I believe.
All right, and we'll be syncing up Dino's clock right here in about 2 seconds. There we go. Now we should have timers much closer for the remainder of the race, provided the racers both have their load normalizer.
Yes.
So Collie, just exiting King's Pass, a little bit slower than Dinah. Dinah having a very clean entrance into the well at 1:16, and only 4 seconds behind is Collie. So this is stuff that could be made up by 2 Balder spits, a couple of hits on the Gruz fall, which we'll be seeing here. The first RNG check of the run. Dinah does take a hit. Collie
does
also
take a
takes
hit
one hit as well.
Oh, 2.
Oh, 2 hits.
Yeah. All right, coming up to the Aspid Arena for Dinah. I know Dinah has been practicing this. I saw them doing that in a couple of streams. Does not get double spike, though, unfortunately.
Takes a little bit of unfortunate damage, which combined with Dyna's first hit on that Gruz does bring him to 2 HP. He's going to have to be careful not to take too much damage here. A very early death can be pretty tilting in a race. And to die in crossroads, it's about as early as you can get. I severely doubt that we'll see a death, though. He has plenty of soul to heal up. It would just take some time to do so. Collie now being on the same HP, not as much soul to go around. And not any very significant differences going on.
No.
At the moment. We'll see. Dyna does not go for Statue Pogo. Instead, Pogo's the Vengefly in a very similar way, probably losing very little time. And Collie does go for Statue Pogo, albeit, I think, a little later on this cycle than you normally would. So jumping, behind the tick-tick. But that's fine. She does get the trick. Just a very small time save. I like to keep track of which runners find that worth their time to learn and to get consistently. Because it's one of those very small optimizations that don't save a lot of time, can cost you HP if you do it wrong, and a lot of people just feel that there's other places that they can save time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we have
Sorry.
Oh. Sorry.
I was gonna say Dynamite's having a clean false night fight. We will see the skip coming up here. They exit the fight early.
And in both any percent and all skills, they never return to this boss to defeat it. And that is because, although the primary way into... That was an interesting pause. I think that was to sync up the timers. It looks slightly more synced. I'm not sure. It should be fine.
Alright. So Dynamite getting his vengeful spirits at 350-ish? 351. Collie 3 minutes behind, 4 minutes behind? Or 4 seconds, I mean, sorry.
Alright. So I was just setting a little bit of a noise gate. Please let me know if I start cutting out on Discord.
Yes. Yep.
Alright, thanks. Alright. Sorry, so... And once again, looks like we already have a pretty competitive race to start here. I do think that this will... It's hard to say that this might come down to a death or something when, once again, I don't expect either runner to die here, so I do...
Yeah.
I do think it might just come down to the nitty-gritty, just how much each runner has practiced, how much they're comfortable in the pressure of a race. I don't have confirmation whether either runner is watching the stream yet, so I don't know if they'll be feeling pressure, if they're ahead or behind. And everyone responds differently to that pressure anyway.
Yeah. Collie did not have a death in the first race. I'm not sure about Dynamite.
Dyna did not either.
Okay. So expectations are probably not seeing a death for this one as well. So it might just come down to all the little nitty-gritty stuff, like you said. Oh, Dynamite falling a little bit there in the res room.
Very important to collect as much soul as you can here without losing too much time. Collie getting some pretty fortunate RNG, both of them able to walk out of there with a little extra soul. You do want 2 fireballs here, one to kill that Balder, which is a pretty simple trick. It looks a little interesting because to be able to kill an enemy that normally takes 4 hits with a single fireball does sound a little magical, but it's not quite it's not quite as hard as it looks. Both runners end up...
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Missing the fireball skip. And so not losing too much time on either of them.
No, they're still pretty neck and neck. There's a few seconds between them, but that's negligible at this point.
Yeah. think the pauses are just to try and get them even closer synced. I'm actually...
Yeah.
It looks like they do both have load normalizer.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't think they should be drifting too far apart.
Okay, so we're coming up.
I think it's okay. Yeah, it's like a fireball. Sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's okay. So we are coming up to the second fireball skip. Both make it fairly neatly. They did need 3 fireballs for it, so they will have to do a bit more soul collection in the next few rooms in order to do the Moss Knight quick kill. Oh, Collie taking an unfortunate dunk there.
Yeah, kind of sets her back all the way to the beginning of that room and has her tanking another hit from that moth charger that she wasn't able to kill the first time around. Dyna, I believe, now taking a small hit, or a small acid dunk. And then just choosing.
Ooh.
We have a few missed fireball skips, a missed man pogo.
And Dynamite down on 1 HP.
I would expect, I was going to say, I would expect him to heal before this room just so he can gather all the soul. In the next room, you want 8 hits of soul so that when you go for this Moss Knight here, you'll be able to kill him without any trouble. 3 fireballs and a single nail hit is enough to knock out a Moss Knight.
There is a trick where you can do a 2 as well, though.
Yeah. And even if he were to go for that double hit, it would still be 3 hits of the fireball.
Yeah.
And in that case, they would save a little bit of soul and not need to farm as much. Oh, Collie does demonstrate that trick for us. Going for a nail swing first, a fireball, and then a jump fireball. Getting that double hit, she does now have a little bit of extra soul, and that will mean she doesn't need to slow down as much as Dyna will to farm here. Though she actually stops to farm soul on the first lens fly, perhaps out of habit. Not quite remembering that she just saved that time that she otherwise would have had to take there.
Yeah.
And Dyna already on the Moss Knights, showing exactly why we need all that soul farmed up.
Yeah.
He got the better RNG. Collie in a bit of a danger spot, does face tank a little bit. I don't believe all of those fireballs will have hit this Moss Knight here. Oh, they did.
Oh,
Every single
yeah.
one did. She was able to hit it just off screen. So it does die in 1 hit. She got the less fortunate RNG, but was able to clean up fairly well on them without taking too much damage. You want to go on about the Hornet fight?
Dyna's having pretty good RNG for his Hornet fight. She's not jumping from one end of the arena to the other, which is what we want to see. We want to corner her and make her eat those fireballs as much as we can. For this run, basically, we do want to use as much magic as possible. It does do more damage than our base nail hits. Nail hits, basically soul collection at this point, and any further into the run. And Collie getting through pretty easily as well.
Yeah, every fireball at this stage being worth 3 nail hits. As soon as they get Shaman Stone, that ticks up to 4. And with Shade Soul, that is upgraded to a massive 8 hits of... it would take 8 hits of nail to make up for a single hit on a single Shade Soul. And most of the Shade Souls that we'll be going for will be double hits, actually.
Yeah.
So it ends up just... Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
It ends up just spiraling out of control. Spell damage in this category. It's pretty fun to wield magic that powerful.
Especially once they get things like D-Dark. You will see D-Dark being used significantly during the Watcher Knight fights, or Shriek for the THK fight, because those do the most damage for those particular fights.
Yes. And right now you'll be seeing a pretty movement heavy section from both runners. Dyna still slightly in the lead, but again, nothing irrecoverable for Collie. The movement through here can be pretty tight. You want to avoid hard falls, avoid sinking into acid. Collie able to do that quite well. Dinah just barely slipping through these mushrooms and about to show off one of the geo-farming spots that is exclusive to all skills. Choosing to go onto the left side, which I believe is a small time loss, but allows you to clean up the mushrooms fairly easily. Now he's about to do explosion pogo, which
now this is a cute little trick. Oh, misses it.
Yeah, I think starting a little late on the jump. This is the pogo that I go. Yeah, I want. The window isn't that precise, but I do believe going a little bit earlier wouldn't have hurt. Either case does get its second try. Small time loss, but we'll see if Collie is able to make up that time.
Collie choosing to go on the left side for that geo as well to clean up the mushroom.
And in the meantime, Diana does fail the Mantis Pogo initially. While Collie fails the Explosion Pogo for a second time, I believe.
Yes.
Bit of a back and forth between who is making more mistakes here. Though both runners are performing quite admirably under the race circumstances.
Yeah. These are very small mistakes that we're nitpicking, but they can add up to make a significant difference.
Mm-hmm. Collie manages to get the backup strat for the Mantis, which saves her quite a bit of time, I believe. Still about 15 seconds behind, it seems. Yeah. Behind Dinah. If she's able to quit out quickly here, maybe 20 seconds, actually.
Dinah making his way over to Grez's mother. Another really quick fight with all the soul collection that he's going to be doing.
Yeah, both runners needing to kill Grez's mother to get to Salubra and the Blue Lakes Shade Skip, which is the alternative method by which they enter the city. One of the reasons that they do not fight the False Knight is that normally the False Knight is one of the requirements to get into the City of Tears, but they will not be using that method. So they'll be doing a Shade Skip instead, which they'll be demonstrating after this very small boss fight with the Grez's mother. Taking a little bit of damage there won't do any harm to Dinah, as they are about to take a bench in order to respawn here for the Shade Skip.
Yeah. Let's see how the cleanup goes. Cleanup is very RNG as well for the Grez's mother. It does very nicely though, just the one that missed.
Yep. And while the patterns that the babies spawn in are random, there are a lot of different ways that runners have found to respond to them and minimize just how much that RNG loses them time. With optimal gameplay, even the worst pattern can be done very quickly. Collie did miss a fireball initially, which means that she is missing a bit of soul here for the cleanup. You normally want 2 fireballs here, but she'll have to make do with just one, and she does a fine job of that. Not a huge time loss.
Did Dyenamite not take the bench?
Dyenamite
did not take the Salubra bench, so that is going to be a fairly significant time loss there for him.
Yeah, this puts Collie in the lead by far. Provided that she does walk out and take this bench. I mentioned that losing HP doesn't matter because you need to sit on that bench. The reason you sit on that bench is the bench act as spawning points. Without sitting on that bench and taking that spawning point, you actually spawn in the Ancestral Mound.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now he has to run all the way back.
I have made this mistake before myself, along with a similar mistake of making the journey all the way to Mantis Claw, all the way to Salubra without the Mantis Claw. Collie trying to go for the Shade Skip, gets a fireball, which is the bad RNG that you don't want. Makes it in anyway, demonstrating her proficiency with that skip. She has practiced that skip, you can tell, a few times if she's familiar with the fireball setup. which is just slightly different. Just throws off your rhythm a bit to be able to pick it back on.
Do you know if Dinah equipped Shaman when he was sitting on the bench? I did not pay
He didn't sit
attention.
on the bench. Oh, you mean on the Ancestral Mound bench? No, I did
He's
not.
doing it now.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. And that forces him to miss the setup for the Shade Skin. He's going to have to reset.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean... Oh, and because he didn't think about the setup. Yeah.
Yeah. And gets the fireball too.
This is
oh no.
All right.
So Collie does have a bit of a lead now, just because of those unfortunate mistakes.
Yeah, quite the series of unfortunate events there.
Yeah.
But we will see her farming up some geo here in the city, opting to farm some soul off of the first man in the window as he is out of the way, trying to jump in front of him and fireball him can lead to the fireball being eaten by that window on the edge. So
yeah,
not wanting to risk that, just going for a couple of clean fireballs on all of the husks that are on the left will mean that she's a little short on geo, but there's lots of places to make that up. So
yeah,
no worries there.
Heading into the Gorgeous Husk. It's a little low on soul as well for the Gorgeous Husk. Did you know?
I've just realized with the
oh, maybe not.
With the significant lead that Dinah had, they're actually not too far apart. She does have a lead, but it's not as much as I would have expected from that, from the shenanigans with the shade there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
So we'll see. She has a 15:24 quit out. He's still behind that time while in the King Station. So.
All right. So now Collie will be going for the famous dash/slash. A little low on geo, so she'll have to farm 2 waves.
Yeah, which is normal. To farm both waves of the hoppers. It's a pretty normal amount of geo here, but the dash/slash, any slash fans in chat, let me know. The dash/slash there is one of the most important tools of this run, not because of the damage it deals. Once again, the nail ends up being almost a soul gathering stick in this run, but it's for hitting the levers through the walls. The extra range of the dash/slash is able to reach the levers behind doors and is able to skip several rooms in the Soul Sanctum primarily, though it is used in a couple of other places. Queen's Gardens is one I can think of.
Collie having some issues with the primal aspids.
Yeah, the aspids and the hoppers make a nasty combination. Pretty typically an endgame enemy for a lot of players, but in this run, one of the first that we run into.
Yeah. She has gotten through, it looks like.
Oh, Dinah, I'm actually quite alarmed at Dinah's HP, more than Collie's even. It appears that he took a hit probably from one of the bellflies while I wasn't looking. Fortunately, has enough geo to just skip that second wave of hoppers, which is surrounded by the aspids.
Yeah, that is correct, Spicy. Spicy was just saying that the load normalizer does make them look a little closer than they are. We have to keep an eye on the timers as well, but they are a lot closer than what we would expect considering that bench mistake.
Dinah's made up a huge amount of time on this split specifically, I think.
Yes.
Now only 13 seconds apart? No, a bit more. Because they quit out.
Collie left the bench room at 17:10. You can see what time Dinah leaves that. So that is that? No, that is not.
Yeah, about 15 seconds apart.
Yeah.
Pretty incredibly close race. Here, though, we'll have the Soul Sanctum. I would expect to see, if anywhere, a divergence here. If there's not going to be any deaths in the run, this is one of the places where you can lose a lot of time to bad RNG from the Soul Master boss to bad placements of the Soul Twister, which is the first few enemies you have to fight on entrance to the Sanctum. Actually going for a safer version of this lever skip.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Fireball both of those humongous jerks, the flying sentries. They can cause a lot of damage, force you to take a bench a little bit to the left. I feel like at a certain point you do lose such a significant portion of time to gathering that soul and fireballing them. It might be more worthwhile to just face tank them and go for the bench. But Collie obviously having practiced a very different method. We'll see.
If it pays
coming
off.
into the Soul Sanctum at full HP and full soul is something that's really good, considering you can die here. As I was just mentioning, a lot of things that can go wrong here, including just RNG from the very teleporty enemies.
Yeah, and this is one of the worst places to take an early death, because if you don't take that safety bench, Inspire, you are walking all the way back from King Station into here.
Yeah, which would be quite the frustrating experience. Diana coming in on low HP and 0 soul to Collie's 5 HP. So we're probably going to see him, and he also has significantly less geo, so on the exit, we might see Collie picking up a little bit of extra time too.
Yeah.
So Dyna, at the cost of his HP and geo, has made up a lot of time, actually.
Yeah.
Huge amount of time. They're literally
about
in the
4
same
seconds.
Yeah. All right.
At least they didn't have to fight the Soul Warrior.
Thank you, Maid. Maid in chat offering to resync our timers.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's funny because the visuals are synced, and that makes it seem very close, but yeah, the timers being just a little bit off. There we go.
Soul Warrior not being very nice.
No, not quite. Neither runner having a fantastic Soul Warrior fight. Again, Collie's coming out on top HP wise, and a little bit ahead on time.
A little bit ahead on soul too. Only needed 1 hit to get the soul meter.
Opting to try to shade soul that Soul Twister, but he teleports right out of it.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I do respect the attempt to shade soul. That guy getting in your way. As soon as that thing touches me or gets anywhere in my vicinity, I'm shade souling that guy, and I respect her doing the same.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see if they're going to go for the Soul. It doesn't look like they're going for. Well, Collie doesn't look like they're going for the Soul Master.
No, neither one of them.
No.
Both of them opting to take some extra soul to heal or for safety. There is a strategy where you can shoot a fireball that will break those soul jars and damage the Soul Master. But doing that can lead to a little bit of risk HP wise, and both runners so close, neither one of them wants to take a death here by going for a riskier strategy, it seems. So the goal of this fight here, if you don't start with the quick kill, is going to be to get as many double shade souls as you can. Doubling your damage output is a huge boon to how quickly this fight will go.
Yeah.
Spicy offering props to Dyna, opting to go through that first Soul Sanctum run on 1 HP. That was quite frightening. We should have talked a little bit more about that, but he made it through.
He did. Those Soul Twisters, though.
Whoa. looked away and missed Dyna's Soulmaster kill. I can't tell if he went for one of the faster kill methods or if he just entered the fight. Seems he just entered the fight a little bit faster than Collie. And he will be exiting a little bit faster as well.
He was a little bit ahead. That is correct.
Immaculate synchronization on the timers right now. Both runners leaving on 4 HP with the dive refilling their soul meter to the top. Once again, though, Collie does have a lot more geo here, so she may be able to save some time on her exit by simply not going for a lot of husk kills that Dyna will maybe have to go for.
Yeah.
Probably going to have to Shade Soul some enemies in that huge hallway that leads to the Soul Sanctum, the final room of the Spire that they go through, the first room going back. Oh.
Collie missing a little wall jump there.
Yeah, fortunately not taking any additional damage from that. It is quite easy to fall onto that little Mistake's head, which is the name of that enemy. Funnily enough.
Okay.
We have a mistake emote in chat. It's Collie's.
Do we actually?
Mistake. It's Collie's emote.
Oh my goodness.
That's brilliant. I like that.
That is good. I
all right.
Okay. Now heading back out.
So I would say so far the narrative of this race has been Dyna making a little bit more mistakes and Collie just in general going for slightly safer strats and losing time that way, which is why this race is so close despite stuff like the wrong quit out or the wrong warp with the death at the shade skip.
I mean, I can get behind safer strats, especially with the rooms that are coming up.
Yeah. We are gonna. I do believe that she's either going to have to rely on one of Dino's gambles here, where he runs into a deadly room at 1 HP to go wrong, or she will need to drop some of the safety strats like the bench at Hornet 2 if she is going to want to pull ahead here.
Well, in his first race, it did pay off for Dyna. I believe you were saying on Monsta's spreadsheet that he got down to 1 HP 6 times in his first race. Did not take a death. So it did pay off for him.
That is absolutely true. This is a man who's 100% comfortable at 1 HP and is not going to die, even in a race, which is a very good quality for a racer to have.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, if he's choosing not to heal, that means that he has that one extra hit of soul for spells against a boss or against an enemy that, say, Collie, if she does take a heal, will not have.
Yeah, there's at this point of the run, basically every single time you choose to heal, you're dropping essentially 40 damage, at least, maybe 80 damage. That could have been a spell, and you will have to spend that time gathering up 3 more hits with the nail or 1 more hit with the dream nail. Usually the nail in this run.
But is it worth it? Because we're heading into Crystal Peaks, and the last bench that they took was the Spire.
Colby pointing out that Collie saved a grub. I believe she would have saved the Soul Sanctum grub. Did you see that, Gitch, and call that out?
No, I did not see it.
All right. It seems that Collie has saved an extra grub. I believe she did that in her last race. There's 3 grubs that you can save without humongous time losses in this category. And it's fun to see people opt for those.
Gotta respect the grub saves. All right, so now we're entering into Sea Peaks. This is a very cycle-based area. So it's all going to be based on how the players enter the room their movements within the room as to how fast they go and whether they get hit or not, for the most part. Very little RNG in this area at all.
Looking at Monster's spreadsheet, I don't think either of these runners are going to go for Pogax. Not even jumping into the room in the correct direction if they were to go for that trick. It's a very small time save. It looks very, very handsome when done correctly.
It is a swag strat. It is definitely a swag strat as well.
Yeah, it's a swag strat with a lot of swag.
Yeah, definitely.
Dyna went for a slightly more optimal damage tank in the second room. We'll see how Collie handles that. So here she's going to go for, not the damage tank initially. Though she will take a hit of damage just walking into that laser, perhaps slightly slower.
Yeah, it was a little slow on that.
That's all right. 4 HP going into here is pretty good, especially with an extra charge of soul ready to heal. This section is a very long section without a bench. You can lose about 2 minutes and 30 seconds from just from dying
taking
here.
A death?
So,
yeah.
Sorry. Fumbling my words a bit.
Ooh, Dynamite.
Yeah, Dynamite putting himself into that danger zone that we were just mentioning. 2 HP here, and causing a miss cycle here means that all these lasers will not be lining up as nicely for him as they will for Collie, who will just be able to breeze through this room at maximum speed, basically never stopping except for that laser, and we do get an underplat out of her as well.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. Once again, Dyna's a man who's comfortable on 1 HP, definitely going to be fine on 2 HP. There's a couple of scary sections left here, and still going to be about a 1 to 2 minute time loss depending on where they die, if that happens. But he actually opts for a heal for one of the first times in this run.
I wonder what strat they're going to use for the dark room, if they will go for the slightly slower C-dash strat, or if they are going to do the dash strat. I know Collie at one point was practicing the dash strat. I do not know if she'll implement it during the race, though.
Yeah, she goes for a slightly slower cycle on those crushers too, I believe.
Yeah. Dyna taking that soul. So does Collie.
Okay,
Ooh.
Collie taking a lot of extra soul, actually.
She is going for the dash strat, which will save her a bit of time. Because Dyna did take Oh, no.
Just missing a single dash or a jump there does throw her off the cycle, and she has to reset the room.
Oh, she's going for the safety one now. Which I respect.
Yeah. Gonna have to mess around with the audio a little bit here.
Okay.
For some reason, it said it was playing Dyna's audio, but it definitely was not. I had to switch it back and forth there to get it to recognize the audio properly. But in any case, Dyna will be showing off one of the more fun tricks of this run. This run is titled No Major Glitches. It's definitely not a no glitches run or a glitchless run. Just that glitch, to the eye at least, looks a little major.
Yeah, it does. It is really cool, though. And getting early control is definitely optimal. There's a few cases that players will be trying to get early control from those cutscenes. That was one of them. Another one will be in Isma's with the horn. Both of them getting that early control easily. Dynamite back on 1 HP, but he will be filled up again after this cutscene.
Yeah. Normally after this cutscene does not heal you, but because they'll be quitting out to a bench, it is nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
There's literally no threats on the way from Descending Dark to the Dream Nail. So even though they're on 1 HP, no real risk this time around.
Yeah, even falling off the platforms does nothing. So really don't have to worry about anything here. Just get through as fast as you can.
Just this morning, I commentated a pretty high-level race where neither runner went for this Crystal Dash.
Really?
Crystal Dash crest. Both of them made the mistake of forgetting that they have C Dash here, having muscle memory from a different category, and actually losing just a few seconds to just dashing across these platforms. Though, according to Axe, a lot less time lost than you might expect there. One of the runners in chat mentioning that it was incredible. So, but both the runners here decide to go for the Crystal Dash, opting to just skip most of this platforming section. Dinah did go for an underplat. So did Collie there. It's not the easiest trick. Can lose a little bit of time if you fall down there, as much as 7 seconds, I believe. So quite nice of them to both go for that and both get it.
So Dinah's quit out time was 30:16. Collie is a little behind that. 30:41. So 25 seconds, 26 seconds behind right now. Yeah. So not significant, much closer, like we were saying, than the first round.
Yeah, this whole second round is Dinah opting to minimize arthritis, perhaps, by taking that elevator up instead of the wall jumps. It's a little bit slower to take an elevator almost every single time there's a different option available. But he actually misses the Dream Nail on one of the Watcher Knights, so he's starting with a little less soul than you might want here, but I'm sure he'll be able to make it up quite quickly, which he does. 3 Descending Darks on the Watcher Knights will kill them. Not a lot of hype for this boss in this category.
Ooh, Collie missing the early opening of the ceiling there with her fireball.
Oh, yeah, she aimed to the left, I presume. I didn't actually see that, but I know it all too well. That second set of Watcher Knights ended up lining up for Dinah towards the end. He was able to de-dark them without too much trouble. Looks like he's opting to kill these last set of Knights one at a time. Not quite convinced that's a super fast strategy, but it does mean that they can't roll apart. He is down with 2 HP
as well, though. You have to keep in mind.
That's true. Yeah, perhaps not wanting them to gang up on him and cause any extra damage. That does make sense. Because you really definitely don't want to heal in this fight. Not only is there not much time, but once again, using a single heal is at the cost of a spell is pretty huge damage loss. So even if you were to find the time to get that off, not exactly worthwhile. Collie having a little issues with her Watcher Knights. It does get the double kill from that last D-Dark, though. When you don't kill the second set of Watcher Knights, the spawn times get staggered, and it becomes a lot harder to kill both of them at the same time, which is what you want to see. Killing the 4th Watcher Knight before the 5th one just doesn't save any time because the fight ends when the 5th one dies. So you want to kill them and use all your soul to damage both of them at once. But still not too far behind. I'm going to be guessing about 15 seconds by the time this Dreamer cutscene plays. I would say a bit more than that. Yeah, because it was 23 seconds before. Again, this entire race has been close. These runners have never been more than a minute or a few rooms apart. So that's actually really impressive that they're both playing at their, I would say playing at their peak, or at least near it. Okay. And now that we've got the Watcher Knight's chest, we don't really have to worry about Geo for the rest of the run after this chest. There is 655, or they should have 655 Geo from that chest. I'm actually not too familiar with their split, so I am going to take a look at that. Well, maybe Gidge can talk about our Izuma skips coming up.
Oh, yes. Beautiful Isthmus skips. So what they're going to be doing is, for those that don't know, there is a go around for getting into Isthmus and getting Isthmus Tier, which we will be seeing. They'll be going down the broken elevator shaft and doing what's called a spike tunnel skip, and then a couple acid skips into Isthmus. Can be tight. Is not as tight as you would think. Dynamite jumping a little too high there on that one.
I think actually he's pogoing too early.
Oh yeah, he might be.
Yeah.
The first one he did jump too high. But
well, maybe a little bit of nerves getting to him. The timing on this is really, really important. So when you get thrown off of your timing, it's easy to lose confidence and get nervous and try to go faster.
Oh no.
And it's just not working out for him this time around.
There he goes. And
God.
the 1 HP thing again.
Yeah.
Dinah is a 1 HP
on
god.
HP. Unfortunately, he won't have soul to get rid of this worm coming up.
If it's there.
If it's there, yeah. Opting to go. Oh my god. There's the first death of the run. Realizing a little too late that there is a bellfly in the way. It looks like Collie's trying to show off a randomizer strategy.
Yeah, she does not know the other strat as consistently. I have talked to her about that before. So she opts to do the dash slash instead.
That is actually incredible. I've not seen a single runner do that strategy. And if that's what works for her, then more power to her, because she's going to be saving time on this split, provided she can get rid of these warmps and or she's actually trying to use the warmth to heal, it looks like. You could just throw a Shade Soul down here, but if you're worried about HP later on, it is, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Ah, perfect.
Beautiful
maximum confidence.
Skip.
Not even readjusting after that heal, just walking up and just sending it. Love to see.
First try on that. Okay, and she is going for the early control, it looks like, on that Whorp. So if that Whorp hits her during this cutscene, which it will, she will get early control. Is going down to 1 HP though. Oh, and she chooses to heal.
According to Sour, we may have seen a dash slash Yzma's before today with Zero's race.
Oh.
I did not catch the entirety of that race. I know he was memeing a little bit, going backwards for underplats, but I'm going to stop talking about that because Dinah is going really low on HP here. I have to emphasize, if he were to die here, he would lose all of his Geo, and that would be essentially the end of the race from his perspective. There is not a good place to make up for Geo without going all the way to Lem, and that's just a time loss that I don't think any runner can afford.
Oh no.
This is it. This is now or never for Dino. Oh
my Dinah giving us heart attacks again.
Yeah, he is going to still have to collect his shade here without getting hit by it. Shouldn't be a huge problem. Oof, oh my god. All right, the run is saved. The run is saved. He will be on 1 HP, this time not tanking a hit from the acid here. Finally making his way to this safety heal. Oh my god.
He has nerves of steel. Oh my goodness. Whew.
I don't know if I would have been able to do that in this situation. I get very nervous at points where I would lose my Geo in a race. That would be a disaster on top of disasters. With his Geo saved, he can just await a larger mistake from Collie, or again, maybe look for some of those time saves with the less safe strats that he's so comfortable going with for.
Dinah also getting early control there.
Yeah. Wow.
And Collie making her way over to the Maw Lurk room. Now, Maw Lurks, they do have the same pattern when you enter the room. However, the angles are different for when they spit. So it can be quite difficult to navigate this room without taking multiple hits.
Yeah, Collie only having taken one is not bad so far. She has one Maw Lurk to get over. 2 hits, 3 HP. She's going to feel pretty comfortable with that and just move on. You want to have at least 2 Shade Souls worth of soul here to start the fight off of with. because you can, provided some good timing. Oh, she'll be going for the safety strat of opening that door in case of a death. So anyway. Oh, she actually does heal, so now she will not have the full amount of soul for that guaranteed damage at the beginning of the fight, which is all right. Maybe Dinah will be able to show that off for us. She's going to go...
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, there is a certain attack that they will be looking for that will give them the ultimate amount of damage, which is the headbang attack. Because what they can do is they can chain D-Darks on this person. That is the attack right there. And Collie just chaining it there. Oh.
I believe... No, not quite dead.
No. And on 1 HP.
There we go. There we go. That's the end of the fight there.
Beautiful.
Collie, both our runners putting us at 1 HP at several points in this race. Collie pulling through, though. Still not a death in this race. Dinah taking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time not comfortable walking into this next Mauler with anything less than 3 HP. Oh my god, and that's why. Very glad he healed there. That would have been a very instant death for him had he not healed.
Is he going to do 1 HP? Is he going to do a 1 HP broken vessel fight?
I can't possibly recommend that. I imagine he'll be healing here.
Yeah, he is. So he will have no soul for early damage on the broken vessel, which will be a bit of a time loss as well, because Collie did get at least 1 hit off on the broken vessel.
Both the chat commending both of these runners for their nerves and for their for their clutch attitude, their grit, just staring death in the face and saying, "I don't really care. I'm gonna win."
Come at me. And there's the headbang. Beautiful. Does not have enough soul to chain it. Didn't need it though.
Not today, MC. Say not today.
Not again today. I mean, not a lie, but all right. Now we're going into the next really tough fight. The Hornet 2 fight.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm having a lot of fun commentating this match. I really like commentating for Axe's race and Spicy's race, but I do have to say one thing. Those runners, they're too clean. They're too consistent.
Yes.
Well, weren't a lot of points where I was scared that Spicy or Axe would die, and this race, man, the nerves are running high. I gotta admit, and they're a very close one as well.
Now, will Collie take safety bench? She is not.
Not at all. That's quite interesting.
She is going.
Now that I think about it,
station?
No, I actually didn't check that, but now that I think about it, she didn't go for the safety bench in the Spire either. She did just opt for collecting some extra soul.
She did bench it at a King station, Sierra says.
Sierra says she benched the Kings, which will still be a pretty big time loss if she dies. But she is showing a great deal of confidence to come into the Hornet fight with a pretty small safety net, I'm going to say.
Yes.
She
has been practicing this, though. I have seen her practicing this.
Oh. Yeah, pogoing her out of the stagger is not quite what you'd want there, just because Hornet is super prone to just jumping out of every single stagger.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe designed to do that. She will be getting a lot of double hits for the Shade Soul.
Not getting a lot of parries either, which is quite nice.
Yeah, this is just... She staggers her out of that... Hornet has these traps that she can summon, and she actually staggered her out of the trap summon before that happened. That was an amazing Hornet fight.
Wow, beautiful. Dinah also not opting for the camp safety bench, going in with full soul, or not full soul, full health, excuse me. Let's see how how nice Hornet is to Dynamite.
We have a Collie supporter saying that she's practiced Hornet enough to do it in her sleep.
Yeah.
Wow. She is showing off some serious practice with that. That was one of the better Hornet fights that I've seen in a while. So that was really incredible. Pretty lucky RNG, I will say, but you got a lot of double hits, which is all skill and knowing when to Shade Soul.
Hornet not being as nice to Dynamite, it looks like. There are a few more parries, jumping around the arena much more than she did for Collie.
Yeah, he is also Shade Souling her at pretty close range, which will mean that a double's pretty much guaranteed to not happen.
Yeah.
So he is losing a bit of damage with that. Though he is going to corner her here. Oh, he got a...
Oh, no.
You got one of the worst forms of RNG you can get is a...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
There's his second death.
So we are going to see whether he benched. No,
he did
not at the King Station.
Chat's informing me that Collie says that second Hornet fight is actually one of her has become her favorite fight because she's practiced it so much. So
I do think it's a brilliantly designed fight, but the RNG with the parries can get a little frustrating.
Yes.
For speedrunners especially, because there's just nothing you can do about an attack that gives a boss iframes, and especially when it deals damage to you. Especially when it deals damage to you if you Shade Soul her at point blank, which did happen to Dyna there.
Dyna, I believe, just took the King Station bench, just in case it now. So hopefully nothing happens again, but if it does,
yeah,
it won't have as far to run back.
According to Spicy, Collie is on huge PB pace. That would actually be her second PB in a race in a row.
In this tournament.
Yeah, in this tournament. So if she's able to pull that off consistently, the audience here may begin to expect a little bit more out of her every race. It seems that she puts a lot of practice into her before every race. She puts in a lot of practice before each race. And it pays off big time.
She does a lot of movements practice as well that I've noticed. Oh, Dynamite taking a hit to the Shade, so he's not going to be going in with full health into the Hornet 2 fight.
Yeah, some runners just not having too much experience on walking back to Hornet. Just because a lot of runners will just simply reset if they didn't take the bench.
Yeah.
So maybe not quite knowing exactly where the Shade was going to spawn there due to that.
Hornet not being nice again. He's down to 2 HP.
Yeah,
and
she's
she is
parrying everything.
Oh.
And even when she's just parrying a nail hit, the fact that he had to turn away from that one, he didn't want to trigger it in his own face once again. Yeah. This is just, it's a brutal fight. It's a brutal fight, and it's a very fast fight. It's very easy to go suddenly from 3 HP to 0, so that's the reason why he'll be healing up there.
Yeah, he did take that heal, which I would have too, honestly.
Yeah, same here. I'm not looking to die to Hornet twice in a race, that's for sure.
No, there he goes. He's got her.
Oof.
Collie making her way through to Fog Canyon, going to head into everybody's least favorite boss, Umu.
Yeah, according to Sarah, we should have fixed the RNG seed before this race. Yeah, I was gonna say that Uma is definitely gonna hit her if she slides down that wall.
Oh no, that's
fine. There is a bench at Umu that there can take, which I would highly recommend at this stage of the race, where Collie is a great deal ahead of her opponent here and ahead of her own PB pace. To take a death at Umu would just be too tragic for words.
Dyna not invalidating their run, did not get the early control.
Oh, She even knows the fast strats to get up to this bench. That's something I haven't learned.
Yeah.
She...
I actually do not know if she knows the one cycle for Umu or not, off the top of my head. But I guess we'll see if she tries to set it up.
Spicy informing us that she is not quite as far ahead of her PB as he thought, looking at probably one of her 103 times when she does have a 102 currently.
Still an incredible pace that she's on right now, though.
Okay, so chat informing us that we're unlikely to see a one cycle setup from Collie. Which is fine. A lot of runners who haven't done that much practice into the one cycle, there's a lot of easy ways to get a 2 cycle. So, in more consistent ways than going for the 1 cycle. So we'll be seeing a near any % setup from Collie here. Getting huge amounts of Sage Soul damage and in that first cycle.
Just going underneath Umu too. Love it.
Yeah. Very comfortable with this boss. I believe getting an extra attack there. Slightly unfortunate. Just some random time loss for fun. This is why Umu's speedrunners just love this boss.
Perfect fight there, though. No damage taken.
Yeah, that's true. That bench apparently all for naught. But definitely calmed the nerves maybe a little bit there. Allowed her to go for a more clean fight. Collie just has an amazing show of support in this chat. I'll have to give it to her fan base here and her friends.
Oh, Gus actually likes Umu. Gus has the best boss.
Umu is the best boss. I do agree that Umu is a well-designed boss until you're not playing casually anymore.
Then you hate her.
And yeah.
Don't care who you are, you hate her.
Then suddenly RNG time loss and bad cycles. Just there's only so much goodwill a boss can have before it wears out its welcome.
Yeah.
Joking, for Christ's sake. There are people who like. There are people who actually like Umu, including speedrunners. Well designed. Okay.
Oh, Dynamite making his way over now to Fog Canyon to do the Umu fight as well. I don't believe Dyna knows the 1 cycle as well, so we might be getting some kind of hybrid setup from him as well when he gets there.
Chat incorrectly calling out Umu's attacks as only having 2 attacks. That's not true. He has that attack where he just walks into you. And that cannot be forgotten.
He just walks into you.
The contact damage in this game is real. You will have to treat it as an attack or you will get hit.
Yes. Ooh. Dyna's fall is a little rough. Not as rough as Collie's was with the...
Yeah, with the Uma face tank. I'm actually curious whether he'll go for this bench here. If he is watching, he'll know that that'll be a little bit of a time save for him if he does opt out of it. 3 HP, I'm going to say, is pretty comfortable to go into Umu on. Even 2 HP wouldn't have been too bad with Yzma's tier.
Yep,
yeah.
Going for...
Right in. Although he will heal.
Respectable. There is a little bit of opportunity to farm for some soul as you're going down, and then you'll be able to dream nail Umu as she's coming up out of the acid as well, so that should get him fairly close. Yeah, just a little less than full. Is he setting up for it? It looks like he might be setting up for...
Yeah, we'll really be able to tell for this last attack. He's gone very far away. I don't think this is going to work.
No.
It looks like he wanted to go for the 1 cycle setup, but yeah, not quite going to get it there. No. He was a little too far to the left. He couldn't make it back to the platform in time to get Umu into the right position. But that's all right. It won't lose him too much time because Collie did get a 2-cycle, and he will very likely be able to get it,
Yeah, he did.
Legend has it the way to guarantee an Umu 2 cycle is to go for the 1 cycle and miss. So,
oh my goodness.
Having done that, he will be able to clean up quite nicely.
Collie getting her great slash fairly easily, it looks like.
Yeah, not too much going on in that split, which is why I was more focused on the Umu fight. As long as you know your Duranda cycles, and even if you don't, you can just kind of visually time it. Not a huge risk of death or time losses anywhere in that split, so. However, coming up, this will be one of the largest sections that the runners go through without a bench, second only to Crystal Peaks. They'll be going all the way from the bench in the archives to the Howling Rates on the eastern half of Fog Canyon. From there, all the way through Queen's Gardens, into Deep Nest, in the dark, all the way to Beast Den. And it's just a massive section where there's plenty of places to heal.
But it can be scary, especially first time doing it.
Yep. We'll be seeing a little bit of a C dash here. It's almost like an Isma's tier skip, but just not nearly as precise. Able to dash through the Lumaflies. Something I learned that's interesting about this patch is that the Lumaflies only activate when you are when you are near them. So you can actually crystal dash through them without any risk of getting hit. Whereas on the current patch, they're actually all timing based. They're all on these cycles. You would need to time it pretty immaculately to get a full crystal dash.
Now let's see how Collie does with cleanup in here. There's a lot of different ways to do cleanup in here, depending on how they fly, because they do spawn in the same place, but then they float and fly depending on different things.
Yeah, they can choose to attack quickly or attack slowly. Even these tiny little squits have more behavioral AI than Umu, I would say. Not quite true. It is amusing. It is amusing how little decision making Umu actually does in the fight. Oh, Dyna on his way to Great Slash while Collie is on her way out of the Howling Rates. Yeah, the Squid Arena actually probably has killed more all skills runners than Umu. I'm going to wager.
Yeah, because Umu is not too bad. You do have Isma, so you don't have to worry about dunking into the acid. And it is fairly easy to avoid her attacks, as long as you're mindful. The squits are just all over the place.
Yeah. Something that I will mention is that Monsta is actually keeping track of what the deadliest enemies are in this tournament, and so far it has been Hornet 2. Sorry, I glanced over this lever skip, or not lever skip, this damage warp that they do, where they fall into the thorns at a specific location and actually warps them downwards right on top of a lever, and skipping a little platforming gauntlet. Something I believe exclusive to this patch.
Yes.
Probably showing that off first try. Go ahead.
Current patch does not have this, so they do have to activate that first platform and then dash to the wall and C-dash across. They aren't able to do the damage respawn.
All right, so Collie is about to enter the Dark Deep Nest. It is a section that you would, any percent runners would be familiar with having Lantern here. But in all skills, we actually skip getting the Lantern, that 1800 Geo being a price tag too high when you can simply walk around in the dark at 0 cost to time, provided you know the room well enough.
Yeah, because with not having Lantern, the game will respawn you at the beginning of the room if you do take
as
a
Collie
hit.
will demonstrate here.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, getting that first hit there sends her all the way back.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So this does give Dinah the opportunity to make up a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, that's actually a really rough death. This will put her behind Dinah in the physical world, though with Dinah having to take this detour to Howling Wraiths, she may be actually... yeah, she might be able to surpass him regardless. Oh, is there... There's a backup strap for if you die. You don't have to go through there at all. Okay, so she's still definitely ahead.
Okay.
She went the Queen's Gardens acid route, not having to do an acid skip.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that's something I would not have known how to handle. Once again, Collie's experience and practice showing through, even after a death, knowing how to deal with that death is very important.
Yeah, because it can affect your mentality as well, taking a death there.
Oh, yeah. I got a little worried seeing that spike come for her, but then I remembered that the spikes on those thorn bugs do not hit you at all on this patch. They got put on the wrong layer.
Oh, is that why it is? I did not know that's why they didn't hit you.
Where will her shade spawn is the question from chat, and I personally do not know the answer. I certainly hope Collie does. Once again, if she's practiced coming back from deaths like this, then I'm sure she actually knows exactly where it is. Making it through here this time very cleanly. It was just so unfortunate, that death. I would say that probably to get hit there, just because the spiders are aggroed after your first trip through the deep nest, through the dark deep nest room. If they get out of place, it's probably just better to reset the room entirely, though that would come at a time loss. Definitely a little rough to take a full death there.
Anything is faster than a death, though, so resetting a room, definitely valid.
All right, so her shade is in the area. She is able to hear it. She's going to try to take some time to clear out these spiders.
Oh,
she's aggroed the shade successfully. She tried to dream nail it and instantly kill it. Didn't get that off, but she does manage to kill the shade, get her geo back. It's very important. She's resetting her position in the room, and now she's back to where she knows what she's doing. That whole segment, yeah, that whole segment actually being caused by taking a turn a little early. She just tried to move to the right a little too quickly, and as a result, hit some spikes right at the end of the room. Yeah, that was just super unfortunate because it, once again, sends her right back to the beginning.
Dinah taking some damage in the dark room as well.
She's actually going to... Oh, boy.
Oh, please.
I think she intentionally triggered that spider to try to get some soul off of it. Either that or she just got a little lost. That spider will not trigger unless you take a small detour and walk a little too far into the room. But it would make sense for her to try to farm some soul there, knowing she was on low HP and without soul. Yeah, she is aggroing these spiders intentionally.
Well, that one will aggro as soon as you walk towards the breakable wall.
Yeah, and she just decided to wait for it to farm some soul off of it.
Yeah. They are... Dinah's still about 10 seconds behind according to the timer, but much closer than it was.
Yeah, that is... This race has gone from being 15 seconds apart for the entire first half of the race to being several minutes apart, back to just being seconds apart. Yeah. We've had a wild ride this time around.
It's a very good race. Commendations to both racers.
Yeah, Dinah being a little low on soul. Oh, man.
Dinah, you and your 1 HP. My goodness.
I don't even have breath to commentate situations like this.
Now, the next question is, are they going to go left or going to go right from Hera after they collect Hera?
Yeah. Both runners should be taking the right path out of here. Unless you have extra soul, then dream nailing the devout to the left twice and killing it should be a little bit slower. Because you can just go to the right, and although you're going in the wrong direction, you're just able to hop over a devout a little later on.
Yeah, right is faster if you don't have the extra cast of spell.
Yeah, Sir Kit's pointing out. Sir Kit's, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Welcome. So, but proving that he doesn't have just... Yeah, they are going to go for this devout, and Dyna will be taking the route to the left. So we actually get to see both methods, despite both runners being in the same situation. It actually looks like Collie got out of there faster. So
yeah, but she had to cast
she was a little bit. She didn't have a full cast.
Did she?
She
not?
had to dream. No, she had to dream nail the. She had to dream nail the devout twice. Oh. I suppose she was probably a little bit ahead coming out of that cutscene.
All right. Now heading into the last tough area, sibling climb. I do not know if Collie has been practicing this. I believe Dyna has been practicing their sibling climb since their last race.
A full minute of stream sync. It seems that maybe, although it seems like they might have both had the load normalizer, because I am counting at least 2 seconds on each load from the runners, but it might be that just one of them has a computer where 2 seconds isn't enough for the load normalizer to handle, and it's just losing a little bit of time.
They are on par.
Not a mathematician.
They are on par right now.
Collie has longer loads, yeah, so next time I think we will have to, just for the sake of the volunteers who are trying to sync up the race, ask her to go for a little longer normalizer in the future. Thank you, Supreme. Doing the math that I could not. The person who has the longest loads is the one with the longest loads. I can't believe I had to say that out loud to do the math on that.
Swag door, yes.
Chat calling out. I'm not even sure who did swag door.
I don't know.
Laughing at my ridiculous brain here.
Oh, Dyna taking a hit from them, and they do 2 damage, so and make a big sound. Kind of scary sometimes when you take a hit from them.
It can be a little disorienting when you take that damage, and heart rate automatically increases when you hear that sound. Collie now just 1 second behind Dyna, actually.
Yeah. They were on par going into the King's Brand door, so Dyna's movements, I'm guessing, just a little smoother, but still extremely close.
All right, both runners quitting out here. It will, if they take any damage, as Dyna did, will restore them to full HP and will skip a very brief cutscene of the knight being consumed by the void. I will actually be...
Oh, I heard a dream nail. Were they trying to get early control?
Yeah, that's very likely. It is legal to get early control here. Though, according to the runner visuals, if you get that early control and then hit an Abyss Tentacle, you will get chain hit by them. You will not respawn properly. You'll respawn on them over and over again until you die. Not what you would like to see. But,
no.
Neither runner taking a hit from the tentacles there. Not going to be a major issue. Collie appearing to forget exactly where she was supposed to see dash, second guessing herself, but then remembering, trusting her initial judgment.
All right, and both runners going to have to farm a little bit of soul here to activate the shriek mechanic.
I cannot believe I'm saying this. This run is going to come down to the Abyss Climb and to THK RNG.
Yeah.
A run that was just 10 minutes ago, almost 2 full minutes apart from each other, has now closed a minuscule gap.
Collie has taken a couple hits of damage as well, coming over from her shade.
Yeah, and if Dinah's able to get a clean Abyss climb, that will mean that you won't have to bench, which will be a time save.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's opting to heal a bit there. It might even come down to the RNG for a THK.
Yeah, Sour
That
pointing
might be
out.
what's... Sorry.
No, it's all right. Sour pointing out that Collie's death costing her a little more time. Yeah, the Hornet deaths are basically a straight shot. Basically a straight shot from Hornet to from a bench to Hornet. The death at Yzma is also not too costly, provided you can make it back. But I think the biggest reason Collie lost so much time was needing to heal and needing to find her shade in that dark room, not only the walk back. So yeah.
Collie's climb has been fairly clean. She's taken a couple of hits, so all of the shadow crawlers are off cycle, so she took another hit to those, but still fairly clean.
Yeah, all the shadow crawlers on non-RNG cycles, so missing any sort of timing there will mean they're in different places. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But whether you're leaving on 2 HP or 3 HP, probably not going to make a huge difference. Still going to want to bench in Dirtmouth, or in the Black Egg. But it's optimal to bench in Dirtmouth. Dyna is not going to need to do that, and he'll be going into the Hollow Knight fight with 2 Abyss Shrieks to start the fight off.
Oh.
So he's going to. Oh, and Collie actually has the same amount of soul. Both PBs have passed, yeah.
She is choosing to bench there. It is the faster one, and the reason that one is faster is if they bench at Dirtmouth, then they can just C-dash through the Black Egg Temple room and not have to stop. So it is a little faster than taking the bench in the Black Temple room.
All right.
Now let's see how nice THK is to these runners.
Yeah, so what they'll be looking for here is they do not want the Hollow Knight to dash. They do not want the Hollow Knight to teleport. They want the Hollow Knight to stand still and take a full streak of damage, which is 120, compared to the 5 damage of the nail and the 40 damage of a Shade Soul.
Yeah, and Shriek is 50% more damage than a D-Dark as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. So we'll be able to start off, like I said, with 2 Shrieks right at the start of the fight. We'll get off 1 Fireball here. And so he'll actually be choosing to use all spells rather than to go for pure Shrieks.
I believe Collie has been practicing this with her Shriek. So she'll probably be going for the optimized.
Yeah. And the unfortunate things about Shrieks is it will leave...
You vulnerable?
It will leave you vulnerable to taking it. Sorry, I was looking at the pauses and trying to figure out. Yeah. But it does leave you vulnerable to taking some damage, which Shade Soul casts much faster. And D-Dark gives iframes. Not as much risk to those. Dyna is on the 3rd phase of the fight, while Collie is just now entering it. Dyna on the final scream, probably just 1 or 2 Abyss Shrieks away from a victory here. Yeah. There it is.
Beautiful. Good job to Dyna. Collie just about done as well.
Yeah, Collie perhaps seeing her opponent finish, opting for a full heal. What a close race. What an incredible race from both runners. Either one absolutely could have won that. Absolutely.
And it was back and forth for most of the race, definitely giving people a good view.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Dyna apparently surprised to be claimed the victor.
Really?
Yeah, perhaps. Apparently Dyna was not watching that race because he was ahead for the very end. He was ahead for the last 5 minutes or so. Yeah, I guess not having seen. We'll be getting him on the comms here fairly soon. Yeah. Oh, I need to mark the runners as done in
Yeah,
order
that's
for them
what I
to.
was saying.
Thank you. Oh,
You're
I
welcome.
marked Collie as the winner. I'm done.
I'm done.
There we go. All right, now the runners are properly marked.
Within a second of each other.
Oh, what? Within a minute?
Or no, minute of each other. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
We have had a race that is within a second, but it was not this.
Yes, we have. No, it was not this one.
But they should be able to join fairly soon here. Just join whenever either of them are ready. And we'll be interviewing them here briefly.
Yes, both comms are done. Can't math, can't speak.
Yeah. Gonna go ahead and let them know that they can join.
There's Collie.
Oh,
Congrats, Collie. Good run.
thank you.
I'm just waiting for Dinah here. How did you feel you did today? How did you feel with your race?
I mean, I'm obviously not happy that I died, but other than that, I think it was a better run than I expected. So I'm happy with it.
Also, congrats to Dinah.
GG's, Dynamite.
So
Good
I
race.
take, yeah, I take it, Diana, that you were not watching the race.
Once I died in like what was it? Acid and tunnel. I just turned off the stream. I was so tilted.
Oh
I
man.
just stopped watching and just
You-
focused on running.
We were looking at your stats on that spreadsheet, and we saw that you were on 1 HP 6 times in your first race, but
Oh
took
my
no,
gosh.
but took 0 deaths. And we were so impressed with that stat because there were a few times before that first death that you were on 1 HP where you were just able to continue as if nothing was wrong.
Yeah.
And very shocking. Twice making it through the spike tunnel on 1 HP.
Oh, man.
What is going through your mind when you miss the spike tunnel 5 or 6 times and are going for it on that last bit of HP?
I don't know. It's like I miss all of these, and I'm like, all right, there's no way I missed this last one, and then I just get it.
So just maximum confidence. I can't die here. I'm going to make it. It seemed to me that you were pogoing very early on almost every single one. I was surprised that both times you got it because to my eyes, again, it looked quite early on your pogos. I was wondering if maybe that was a little bit of nerves trying to move, do the inputs a little faster, but
Yeah. Usually I usually don't do it too like that early. That was like way earlier than I usually do, but yeah, just nerves of getting there.
And Collie doing the alternate method for the spike tunnel skip. I believe you told me. You told me at one point that you're not comfortable with the pogo dash. Is that correct? And that's why you
Yeah,
choose to do that?
I'm not comfortable with the pogo dash at all. There was a point where I was doing it, and then somehow I just lost the consistency. And now, for whatever reason, the dash slash is more comfortable for me, which it was prior to that. So maybe it's just I'm more practiced at it.
yeah. Well, yeah, I popped off in the comms when I saw that happen because I was like, whoa! I was like, it worked. I was like, okay, whatever works. If you can get through there with no deaths and take the lead that way with the dash slash, I'll grant full mark.
Dash
Collie,
slash
it
works
appears.
better for me.
Yeah. What was going through your head when you took that death in Dark Deep Nest?
First of all, I didn't realize I was on 1 health until the very last second, and then I didn't realize there were 2 of those spiders there because I could fight off one of them, but there was no way I was fighting off 2 of them. So I just got tangled up in a mess of spiders. And it was definitely nerves at that point. I had the stream up. I knew I had a decent lead. So definitely nerves played a role in that one.
Okay.
And then I almost died again, but it was fine.
Dinah, we actually had a question on how long you've actually been running all skills. Because we've only got 2, I think, runs submitted for yourself.
Yeah, I think like collectively, like hours wise, it's probably like a week or 2. Like I haven't been playing this game very much, if I'm gonna be honest. But I thought it was fun to do the thing.
Both of you guys doing very, very well. Congrats to both of you. Any other questions that you have there, Sabi?
Collie, were you watching the stream? Did you know how far ahead you were?
I was watching the stream. I know it was really close off and on. Like I was in the lead, and then I wasn't. Then I was in the lead, and I wasn't.
Yeah, that was. It was such a great show. I have to commend both of you guys. That was. I could not have. I didn't expect it to be so close all throughout the beginning. I didn't expect a death from either of you guys, but both of you guys ended up dying, which is no fault of your own, or no bad marks on you. I'm going to say, but it made, and then after those first deaths, I was thinking, well, okay, the race isn't going to be close for the rest of the race probably, but it's just Dyenamite bringing it back and pulling into the lead just at the end. There's just really amazing run to watch from both of you.
It was so hard to come back mentally after like the death and fight.
Oh my
God.
Yeah, and then a second death to Hornet as well.
Did you find that the second death affected you less than the spike tunnels?
Yeah, I was pretty much just like, okay, I died. I'm probably not gonna win, but I need to finish this run. Just like in case something goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
That is why I have to recommend to all racers, no matter how many deaths you have, there's probably a chance for you to take a comeback. So at least wait until your opponent is finished.
Yeah,
right.
You never really know. Also, Dyna, you almost lost all your geo. What would you have done had that happened?
So I don't know, dude. I guess farm until somebody told me to stop.
Because that would have been 600
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, to lose all your geo in a race is probably the worst case scenario, because at that point you just have to break so far away from the route to get anything done.
I took like every risk possible to try to come back from it. Like it kind of worked out, but it also didn't, because I ended up dying more than I should have.
Yeah.
Like in Hornet, I could have healed, but I wanted to risk the faster like strats.
Oh, she parried it right in. You got some really unfortunate RNG with her too. She parried right in your face, and just as I was talking about that, you took 2 more damage almost immediately, and took that first death there. But we're really impressed by both of you guys, both having that comeback mentality. Really great race. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dynamite. GG's for sure. All I could ask for was a close race, and that's what we got.
Yep.
And thank you, Collie, for not killing Mila.
Of course. Of course.
I think Collie went to either. Did she dream nail?
Yes, she did.
Groovy or whatever his name is.
Grave digger. Yes, she
Grave
did.
digger.
As long as Mila's safe, I am happy. We're good.
All right. I actually thought you were going to talk to Elderbug, but then I looked away and forgot to check up. But
I
see
did
where
talk to
you're standing.
Elderbug. I talked
Did
to
talk to
Elderbug.
Elderbug, and you killed the grave digger.
I talked to Lisa as well.
If there's any ghost that deserves a good dream nailing, it's definitely this guy. Anyway, I think unless we have any questions from chat, we will be ending the episode here. Chat, wishing everyone GG's. Thank you. We have such a supportive audience. Saw the support in chat all throughout the run. Collie, your audience, you got some MVP level audience out here.
They're great. They really are great.
Saw a lot of Collie emotes. The mistake emote and the soul sanctum, just perfection, really.
Yeah, Wasabi was giggling about that for a while.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you to both racers. Thank you to my nice other calm here, Sabi.
Yes, and thank you, Gidge. I think I'll be ending the episode right about now. So we'll see you guys I'll see you on my next commentary. You'll see more of Gidge around, I'm sure, as well as both racers for the rest of the tournament.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.